That's unreal.
It's nice to catch the birds also in the context.
Yeah.
So, good morning, California. Actually, California is here this morning. Most of these people are California, right? They're not. Oh, you're a different group, are you?
Yes.
Okay, we're doing a live stream here. We do a live stream every morning here in Magla since COVID started. And it's called Sunrise Stroll and Chat. Where are you guys from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Ah, okay, you're with the Catholic group.
That's right. Yeah.
Ah, okay, and then these guys are with the New Life Church. Look at that church.
New Life Church.
Hey, do a bit of greeting for us here. What's your first name?
My name is Mark.
Mark. So
New
do
Life Church, Alamo, California. Also Dublin, California. We have two
Dublin.
campuses.
You know, that's the capital of Ireland.
Yeah.
You know why Ireland is the richest country in the world?
Is it?
Yeah, because its capital is always Dublin.
We got jokes too.
We got jokes too. That's great.
So here we are at the Sea of Galilee, very peaceful this morning, very quiet. There's a great image today in the psalm we have for the liturgy. It's Psalm 1, and it's the just man is like a tree growing beside the water. Sinks its roots into the teaching of God, follows God's teaching, and he grows strong. Isn't that beautiful?
That's awesome. That's good. That's a good teaching.
¿Ustedes hablan español? Okay, bueno, ¿de dónde son? Where did you? El Salvador. Very good. Excellent. God bless you. Bienvenidos. ¿De dónde son ustedes?
Houston, Texas.
But originally?
Maracaibo, Venezuela.
Venezuela. Okay, and? Houston, and this guy over here, this lady?
Aguascalientes, México.
Aguascalientes, Mexico. Aguascalientes, hot waters. You want to try the water here if it's hot? So here we got happy pilgrims in visiting here in the Holy Land. Oh, here we have Pastor Douglas. How are you doing?
To you. Good morning.
Top of the morning to Pastor Douglas. He's with New Life Church. We had one of your greeters here. He was very enthusiastic. I think it's
good.
Mark, is it?
All right.
He's a very enthusiastic young man.
Yeah,
Yes.
We have a number of them.
Yes, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, what a great morning.
It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's getting very bright right now, actually. At least I feel that. Although the camera doesn't tell that as much as I see it. It's really, really bright. Very intense.
Spectacular.
So, and you're the pastor of New Life Church, right, Pastor Douglas?
Church in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Fantastic. Welcome. Welcome. We have people here from California watching this, so they're happy to see
great.
California people
Great.
hooking in.
California ventured out of California in the pandemic and got all the way here to the other side of the world.
Right, and you had a couple of cancellations in the process, right?
Yeah. We felt like there's obstacles getting here, but we got here. We're here to worship Jesus and celebrate Him. And,
Fantastic.
Certainly hope you do wherever you are.
Yes, excellent, Pastor Douglas. So, you know, the people connect here to see the sunrise.
Yes, they do.
And then there are some days when the sun doesn't rise, but we don't see the sun disk because of the cloud. So in those days, then everybody tries to be the sunrise in their own family.
Yeah, they need to be.
Yes.
Yeah, we were out yesterday in the middle of the Sea of Galilee, reminding ourselves to worship Jesus in the storm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
in the storm, in the
Can't always have
difficulties.
perfect weather. Jesus
Right.
is all worship,
Right.
all weather.
Right.
Jesus. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So the readings we have today are from Jeremiah, matching the Beatitudes in Luke's Gospel in chapter 6. And then we have a psalm which matches Jeremiah, which is basically the same type of text. The first psalm, the just man who is flourishing beside the river. And he's like a tree planted beside water, like these trees here. Look at these trees here. You know, they're not going to fear the drought because they're securely sourced, their water. So the one who drinks from the Torah, from the Word of God, is securely sourced. I should have given you the text last night, but I have them for you here. So how long are you spending here in the Holy Land, Pastor?
We still have till Friday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I'm here longer, so I'm here another 4 days. So
Yeah. The group is going to Jerusalem, right?
we'll eventually get to Jerusalem tomorrow.
So the just man is like the one who trusts in the Lord, who hopes he is like a tree planted beside the waters that stretches out its roots to the stream. And that's the exact same text of the Psalm, Psalm 1. It's almost literally the same, you know. Blessed are they who hope in the Lord, who trust not the counsel of the wicked.
Amen. Yeah.
And he meditates on the law day and night, so he's like a tree planted near running water.
The Word of God can come alive to you.
Yes, and you see, this is tied in with the reason the choice of the Jeremiah, the prophet reading, is to match the gospel reading, because the New Testament is springing, it's flowering from the Hebrew Scriptures.
Yes, it does.
And then we have in Luke, the Gospel, the Beatitudes are three blesseds and 3 woes, and actually 4 blesseds and 3 woes, and they are quite surprising, because it's blessed is those who are poor. And normally we look at the magazines and we see all the covers of the magazines of the rich and the famous.
It's true.
It's amazing, and we would want to think blessedness is having a very good check every month, or owning a company, being famous, having a lot of followers, a lot of likes.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how blessedness then is blessed are the poor. Blessed are those who are hungry. You know, hunger is painful. You know, the only type of hunger I had was really when, you know, we were out in the mountain and had a hard day's work, or we were hiking or something, and you got lost, and you had to do 3 or 4 more hours before you got to your supper. You know.
Yeah. In California, we call it, you can get hangry.
You can get what?
You can get hangry.
What's hangry?
Where you're hungry and angry.
Hangry.
Hangry. And but that's a different kind of hunger. So
right.
Hunger and thirsting for righteousness.
Right.
That's what Jesus desires. We want Him. We get hungry for Him.
Right. So last week we were reading from the book of Kings and Solomon. And it's interesting how Solomon was blessed with so much wealth, and the Queen of Sheba came with thousands of pounds of weight of gold. And he was very famous because she came that far to hear his wisdom. So at the peak of his fame, he collapsed. He crashed, and his kingdom was divided and lost. And in a certain sense, I wonder when Jesus was a kid and going to the synagogue on the Sabbath and hearing readings like that, how his meditation would have been.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because he was pondering the word all the time.
Sure.
And then he would reflect that in his teaching. He would bring it to a full expression. Another thought that came to me about this whole thing was the people come out of Egypt, out of slavery, out of persecution. And Jesus said, blessed are you who are persecuted.
Yeah.
It's interesting that our
like that
path
one
is... we don't like it. None of us like it. How could we like it? It seems like destruction, but this is the promise of happiness. Yeah. The promise of lasting happiness is through a path of total... and that's the abandonment in God then, because I'm not able to make my happiness. I don't control it. I don't have the satisfactions that my nature craves. And even the basic necessity of life. We think about the martyrs, then they're driven to complete surrender to God. And it's interesting how they do it freely. They don't do it with hatred. There's a grace of blessedness.
There's a grace in that,
that completes what they're missing.
Paul called it the fellowship of his suffering.
The fellowship of his suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow we enter into the fellowship of his suffering. And most of us aren't praying that prayer. God, that somehow I would know you even in the middle of difficulty and grow more and know more. But Paul certainly understood it was worth doing anything. The cost of following Jesus is a small price to pay for the riches we get from what he does in our lives and through our lives. So, yeah, somebody might be going through a difficult time and just need to be reminded that God's with you in the difficulty. And you grow and you learn things, and you find him showing up in ways. You walked on the water. That was in the middle of a storm. So sometimes your greatest revelations of Jesus, or your new ones, happen in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. when he comes to you in a way he never came before.
It's so true, and especially when they're suffering. I know of a family that went through a very, very hard time, and they lost a lot of. They were very successful, lost a lot of property and comforts and freedoms, and but they discovered each other.
Yeah.
And they discovered how much they had in each other, that maybe they would never have noticed should they simply have prospered materially and been absorbed by material things and have ignored each other and not noticed each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happen.
It's interesting, Mother Teresa, when she came to the West, she said that the West was very poor, and she was coming from Calcutta.
Yes.
And they're very poor in relationships compared to people who are very poor. They rely more on each other, and there are greater bonds.
Yeah. And simplicity might fall in there somewhere. Our lives get complicated. Solomon was the one that said the more he had to worry about. So sometimes the simplicity of few things can cause you to be focused on what's more important. So you come out here and do a devotional for people, and they get to see the sunrise every day?
Yeah, sometimes we're up here on Mount Arbel,
Okay.
down as far as the southern cliffs, or over to here.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're inside if it's raining, inside Ducanalton, because you don't want to get the camera wet. And then now we're just thrilled to have pilgrims back after 2 years. Sometimes I walk down by the water here. If it's, let's say the ground is wet, like right now, the Mount Arbel is pretty soaked because of all the rain we just had. So in a few days of sun, it will dry up a little bit, be easier to walk. And then here are some people taking a group picture, a memento of this moment here at the Sea of Galilee and the sunrise. So it's a way to be present at the Sea of Galilee, way to, the fifth gospel, a way to be in touch with the beauty of nature as well, and how nature interplays with our lives, because God created nature for us to discover Him. And then with the Word, interplaying with the Word, the book of nature, the book of Revelation. What does this gentleman have to say here? What's your name?
My name is Toby.
Tobias, the great man in the Bible, and his father and son, right?
Yeah.
What's your story, Toby? What's your experience here in the Holy Land? First time here?
It's incredible. No, the second time here. The first time I came, this hotel wasn't built. The church was, but the hotel wasn't. And, yeah, it's pretty amazing. If you're considering, you stop considering and just purchase it. Just jump in.
And do the trip. But you guys got cancelled a few times and you still came.
You know what? It's, like if God's plan is for you to go on a Holy Land trip, then you're going to go. So, the one thing is everybody thinks it's very dangerous here. And it's, what about the unrest? There's none. It's the safest place I've been. So, it's pretty incredible. There's so many things going on here though, that you really have to get a great guide to it's like a learning. You just learn so much. So get a great guide. We have one named Anna Shailat, best guide.
She's a lovely person.
Ever. She's incredible. Yeah, she had some really important pieces that you probably don't get with everybody else.
Right. That's good. That's good. And what's your personal takeaway?
My personal takeaway. There's a couple of them, but I really liked when we went to the gates of hell, and the place where they were, Caesarea Philippi.
Yeah, so we can look up. Actually, you can see Mount Hermon from here right now. If you, well, it's just going out of you in a way. But let's look at the Mount of Beatitudes here with all the plastics on them. Once I'm going to get the camera focus in there for our people in California that are watching. So there we have Mount of Beatitudes. Now, if you go back behind the hill, just above a little to the left, in the background, you can see that piece that's sticking out over the mountain. The sun is shining on the snow. Can you see that? It's right to the left there of just got a note from Hawaii. What happened to my camera there? There we go. So right there on the top, on the fringe there, at the top of that hill, you can see a whole strip there that's Mount Hermon. So you went to the gates of hell. I interrupted you in your story there.
Oh, so we went to this place.
It's actually the mouth of the Jordan River, and there's a cave under Mount Hermon, and they call it the gates of hell, right?
And the cave is just nasty looking. It's got this black mold on the rocks, and water's dripping out into this cave. It's not a great spot. But they tell a story about where in Matthew 16:18, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Jesus he walked these guys for, I don't know, a couple days to make this point, to say, hey, we're going to build this thing and it's going to be amazing and you're going to be in charge of it and we're going to outlast what's going on here. And these guys were sacrificing goats to the god Pan. I mean, all kind of craziness. So one of the guys shared today that the goats, when goats are scared, they scream like little children. And so that would be the most frightening experience ever, to have your boss take you for a couple days, not really knowing what's going to happen, and then say, hey, you know, all this is going down, you guys are going to outlast this. They don't even know what they're starting, right?
You know, it's very interesting because that ties in totally with the readings we have today. You know, blessed are the poor, blessed are the hungry, blessed are those who suffer for justice, blessed are those who are weeping. And in that way, you know, you go through that for the sake of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Any good word of wisdom here?
I don't really have a lot to say. I'm taking this in right now.
That's good. And that's what it's
This trip
about.
has been emotional. It's so much to take in. So everything that
What happened yesterday?
everything that we read in our history books or saw pictures of, it's like right here. It's right here. And a lot of people in our group have even talked about they're never going to read the Bible the same again. Just because this is like, it doesn't get better than this. It's an amazing experience. Amazing.
And somebody got baptized yesterday.
Mark got baptized yesterday.
I got baptized in the Jordan River yesterday.
He got baptized for the first time as an adult. It was his choice, and literally the anxiety just it left.
It was a last minute decision. So, but
Most decisions last minute.
But you know what? That decision, even though it was last minute
one.
for you, I think the Lord had it planned from a long time.
yeah.
He was waiting for the moment to dunk you there.
Got some wisdom out here.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. I think my time is up here, I think.
right.
I don't know what we started.
Shalom to you.
And we're going to sign off here with all these good people. Pastor Douglas,
Blessings
it's
to you.
great to join us, and we'll see each other again before around a quarter. What time do we say? To downstairs? Were we going to do that, or?
Oh, our team will have to be heading out, I think.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So people, yes.
No, sorry.
He's got to finish up.
Just let me finish up this little shot here. I always do a little selfie moment here at the end so they believe I'm here. And here we have all these good people with us. So God bless you today. Have a blessed Sunday. See you later, alligators.